He wrote his main works as a teenager, at first emulating the style of the Parnassian poets, with its smoothness of technique and restraint, later eschewing this to create his own poetic voice, with its leaps of logic, its willfully absent transitions and swirl of imagery. Then, barely out of his adolescence, he ceased to write. He said, "I wish I'd never given my manuscripts away so that I could have burned them." Eventually, his inner adventure and his desire to become all people spurred him to travel and work abroad, Java, Cyprus, Ethiopia. He suffered a knee tumour and he was amputated. And he died at age 37, cared for by his little sister Isabelle. I give you Jean-Nicolas Arthur Rimbaud.
Merci, thanks, facts. I love your hand. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I once wrote as a Parnassian poet, but then I told Verlaine and his fellow hacks that what they had written was shit. Their precision of description, their art for art's sake. Où sont la puissance et le mystère? Where's power? Where is mystery? I is another. In this extract from A Season in Hell, I speak as Paul Verlaine, as he reminisces about me. I am a widow. Oh, I was a widow. Ah, yes, once upon a time I was quite serious, and I wasn't born to become a skeleton. He was almost a child. His mysterious niceness had seduced me. I forgot all my human duties in order to follow him. Oh, what a life! True existence is absent. We are not in this world. I go wherever he goes. I have to. And often he loses his cool at me. At me. The poor soul. The demon. C'est un démon, vous savez, ce n'est pas un homme. He says I don't like women. Love has to be reinvented. Oh, we all know that. All that women can wish for is a secure position in life, and once that position is attained, heart and beauty are on the back burner. All that remains today is cold contempt, the food of marriage. Or else I see women with all the outward signs of happiness, women whom I could have made good comrades, devoured from the outset by brutes as sensitive as a stack of logs. I listened to him, glorifying infamy and making cruelty sound charming. I come from a far-off race. My forefathers were Scandinavian. They would pierce their ribs, drink their own blood. I will cut notches all over my body. I will tattoo myself. I want to become as hideous as a Mongol, you'll see. I will howl in the streets. Je veux devenir bien fou de rage. Never show me jewels. I would crawl and write on the carpet. I'd like my wealth stained with blood all over. I will never work. Several nights after his demon had taken hold of me, we'd roll about. Yes, I'd wrestle with him. And often at night he'd be drunk and he'd hide in streets and houses just to scare me to death. Oh, those days when he would just walk about, acting like a criminal, with his kisses and his affectionate hugs. It was truly a heaven, a dark heaven, that I entered there desiring to be left. Poor, deaf, dumb and blind. Oh, I was already getting used to it. He saw us as being two good-natured children, free to stroll in the paradise of sadness. We were suited to each other. Deeply moved, we worked together. But then, after a penetrating caress, he would say, "Ha! Comme ça te paraît drôle que je serai plus. Huh? When you can no longer lie back in my arms or have my heart to rest upon, or my lips on your eyelids. Because one day, someday, I'll have to go away very far. And besides, I have to help others. It's my duty. Although it's hardly an inviting prospect. Straight away, I would envision life without him, a prey to vertigo, plunged into the most dreadful darkness, death. I would make him promise that he would not let me go. 20 times he made that lover's promise. It was as frivolous as my saying to him, "Je te comprends. I understand you." Merci. One of my little monsters. Mes petits monstres. I wrote this one on the eve of my departure for Paris and Paul Verlaine. Le bateau ivre, the drunken boat. As I was descending impassive rivers, I no longer felt myself guided by the haulers. Squalling redskins had used them as targets, having nailed them naked to brightly painted poles. I had no concern for any crew. With my cargo of Flemish wheat, English cotton, and when with my haulers the rivers had ceased their commotion, they let me sail wherever I wished. In the furious lapping of the tides, last winter, duller than the brayings of children, I ran! And the unmoored peninsulas have not experienced more triumphant confusion. The storm blessed my awakening at sea, and lighter than a cork, I danced upon the waves that are called the eternal rollers of victims for 10 nights, not once missing the dim-witted eye of the lighthouses. Sweeter than the flesh of a bitter apple to a child, the green water penetrated my fir-tree hull, and with stains of blue wine and vomit washed me clean, scattering rudder and anchor iron. And from then on, I have bathed in the poem of the sea, infused with stars and milky white, devouring the green-blue depths into which, floating pale and enraptured, the pensive, drowning man sometimes sinks. While suddenly, tinging the vast blueness, deliriums and slow rhythms beneath the reddish glow of day, stronger than alcohol, vaster than our lives, the bitter russets of love ferment. I know skies ripped apart by lightning and waterspouts and undertows and currents, and I know the evening, the dawn, as excited as a flock of doves, and at times I've seen what man thought he saw. I've seen the low sun stained with mystic horrors, illuminating long violet frozen images like actors in ancient dramas, the waves rolling in the distance like the flapping of shutters. I've dreamt of the green night with dazzled snows, a kiss rising by slow degrees to the eyes of the sea, the circulation of vital juices unheard of, and the yellow-blue awakening of singing phosphorescence. Oh, for months on end I have followed the swell of waves that pound the reefs like hysterical cattle, without ever dreaming that the shining feet of the sea goddess Marie could force open the snout of short-winded oceans. Oh, I'll have you know I've knocked against incredible Floridas that mingle with their flowers, eyes of panthers in human skin, rainbows stretched tighter than rains below the sea's horizons with blue-green herds. I've seen enormous swamps rotting away, nets in which an entire sea monster decays in the rushes, avalanches of water in the midst of dead calms, and the distances cataracting towards the abyss. Glaciers, silver suns, mother of pearl waves, skies of hot embers, hideous wrecks at the bottom of brown gulfs, where giant serpents devoured by bugs fall like twisted trees, wafting dark perfume. I wish I could have shown children those dorados of the blue waters, those golden fish, those singing fish. A frothing flower bed has rocked me free of anchorage, and ineffable winds have lent me occasional wings. Sometimes a martyr, weary of the poles and the zones, the sea whose sobbing caused my gentle rolling lifted me towards its shadowy flowers with yellow suckers, and I remained there like a woman on her knees. Almost an island. The squabbling gospel droppings of shrill yellow-eyed birds tossing around my planks, and when across my weak cables drowned men came down to sleep, I'd sail in reverse. Oh, now I, a boat lost in the hair of the inlets, tossed by the hurricane into the birdless ether. I, whose water-sozzled carcass could not have been retrieved by any coast guard or merchant vessel. Free, smoking, fitted out with purple mist. I, who would pierce the reddening sky like a wall, bearing that jam beloved of good poets, sunshine, lichens, and the snotty blue yonder. I, who ran, stained with electric half moons, a tearaway plank escorted by black seahorses, when ultramarine skies with burning funnels were bludgeoned flat by all those Julys. I, who trembled as I felt the moans of mating behemoths and dense maelstroms 50 leagues below, eternal spinner of the vast motionless blue. Oh, I miss Europe with its ancient parapets. I've seen starry archipelagos and islands whose delirious skies are open to the wayfarer. Oh, it is on those bottomless nights that you sleep in exile like a million golden birds of future strength. I confess I've worked too much. The dawns are heartbreaking. Every moon is atrocious and every sun bitter. Acrid love has bloated me with intoxicating apathy. May I sink into the sea, may my keel burst! If there is one body of water in Europe that I long for, it's the puddle, dark and cold. Whereas the scented twilight falls, a child full of sadness crouches and releases a boat as fragile as a butterfly in May. Bathed in your languor, oh slicing waves, I can no longer match the speed of cargo ships, or traverse the pride of flags and banners, or sail beneath the terrifying eyes of the prison hulks. Merci. '71.